That was a key pick in Longzhu's victory over Samsung, as you noted, about a month ago. So if they can just deny that pick, then they are going to be happy. Longzhu does them the favor of taking it out of the pool themselves. So will be an early Jin here, as well as the Rek'Sai, which was banned by Longzhu in game number 1. They pick it up in their first round of the draft on the red side this time. So plenty of junglers left, however. Gragas, you can see they took away all the engage tools.
Yeah.
Longzhu. Shen still up.
It could go for it. Expression Shen didn't look very scary though, so I don't know if you're too worried about giving that one over.
I think Longzhu just wants to play GP.
Maybe.
The Trundle's still up. This would be a interesting blind pick.
Yeah, the Gnar getting taken right away.
All right, so actually just trying to deny picks right now. That will make it so the Trundle or the GP are really much less attractive options if you are Longzhu. And of course the Hecarim, if they were going to go for that too, not looking too appetizing.
Coco could take that Twisted Fate. And wow, if they, no, well, they can't go with the Twitch again. They've already got the Jin locked in.
Now, of course, this does mean that they could go for an Aurelia pick here. And Aurelia does do well in the laning phase against Gnar. So they open themselves up a little bit, or maybe they're just hoping that the Aurelia pick is selected.
I think Bard wouldn't be bad here. Obviously, the Braum Shield blocks the Ash Arrow, which is nice, but I kind of like the Bard for the little bit more aggression, you know?
Wow, really taking a long time. Maybe actually the Rumble.
Maybe.
Expression has 1 game on it. And I think the Aurelia is really the obvious choice if your opponent is going to blind pick the Gnar.
Yep, all right, so they will grab that Aurelia.
Does have that gap closer, so if you can... Basically, if you get hit a couple times, you can actually just use that equilibrium strike, and if he tries to jump away the hop, he will get the distance closed again by the Blade Surge, so you can reliably get a bunch of W auto attacks off.
So the 2 last picks over to Samsung now. And we'll see what they grab. They need a jungler, they need a mid laner.
Yeah, now...
I don't know about this Kindred.
Kindred, if you can get the Lamb's Respite off, you can nullify a lot of the damage done by the Jin on any kind of engage. Crown thinking about the...
Victor would be fine for Crown. I mean, it's most played champion this season by a lot. This would be his 10th game.
Also, the hovers of Twisted Fate by Coco are, I think, getting in his head a little bit, so he wants the strong wave clear to control the Twisted Fate lane. Also, you can interrupt the gate channel with the ultimate from the Victor, so it is a good pick to control.
Yep. Ooh, and are we actually going to see Talia for Coco?
They have picked at least a global jungler, so Rek'Sai with the Void Rush can be there to help respond to Talia ganks in the side lanes. Also, we've seen this matchup go well when Sky played it.
Yeah.
Into Kuzan's Victor.
Well, Sky was able to take out an Azir and a Victor that series. But they're going to switch over to Aurelion Sol. Then they're going to switch over to Azir.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay, they're going to go with the Azir.
All right, the reverse matchup.
Yeah.
This time, we'll see Crown on the Victor and Coco on the Azir. We saw exactly the opposite in the last game. Coco's Azir has not been as spectacular this year as it was last year. But they need a little bit of extra protection probably for this Jin, but not going for some pretty surprising cross-map plays, which we could have seen with the Talia. Would have been exciting, or the Twisted Fate.
I really like the Talia. And I mean, we mentioned before that you can kind of play it like Twisted Fate in terms of being able to get there for a gank and stuff. So Coco, you'd think that would fall right into what he's been good with. So I'm sure we're going to see it at some point from him, but not this game.
Now, I would have liked it too with the Jin Bard combination, because you can dive turrets effectively, just turn them off with the Bard ultimate, and get the dive coming in with the curtain call and the Talia just showing up out of the blue. Would have been exciting to see, but we will not see it, Doa. That is not in the cards today.
Nope, not this game at least.
Now, Samsung has pivoted. They're engaged from last game with the Sivir and the Gragas was banned out, but they said, all right, we still got plenty of engage. We'll just use the Ashe Arrow and continue on with the Alistar.
Yep.
Like we had in game number 1. They do have a lot of turret diving potential with Ambition on the Lamb's Respite, as well as the ultimate from Race Alistar mitigating some of the damage.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the Gnar too for some pretty heavy engage if he's got flash up. So see what they can do with it, if they can turn it into another 2-0, or if Longzhu will tie up the series. Time to get in the game and find out. All right, Mountain Drake is going to be the first one. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Longzhu versus Samsung. And the fans out in force today. I mean, throughout the ages, you know, the League of Legends ages, which are a bit shorter than regular ages, but they're still ages. Throughout that time, Samsung has had a pretty rabid fan base, and so has Longzhu, honestly, despite kind of perpetually being a bit less than mediocre.
Well, at least the Samsung fans can be excited about the transformation of their team this year. It took them a while to put it together, but a lot of the players that they started with, they stuck with them, and they have blossomed into really star-level players, particularly Crown and Ruler just having an outstanding rookie season.
Absolutely. And it just, I mean, I know we talk about this every single game that we have Longzhu in it, but it's just shocking that they can pick up so much good talent on paper and still, you know, not be able to put together what seems like a good team. I mean, and I don't get it. I don't get it, man. A lot of good players. They've got Lustboy coaching, and yet throughout all that, can't seem to make something that works.
You know, Doa, I think that when you have 10 of these players, you see the invade right here.
Yeah.
They're going to wrap around. Oh, boy.
Wow, Ambition gets blown up completely. First blood goes over to Fury on that Jhin. And they're even going to take the Krugs for good measure. Ouch.
Yeah. Good patience there from Longzhu and getting the stun onto the Krug. And Ambition didn't even have time to flash right there. Fury also has the Deathfire touch instead of the Thunderlords. So not even as much damage as that combination could have been had they both had Thunderlords in the early game.
Wow. But you were saying?
I think my opinion on this topic is that if you have 10 players that you know are all very talented and have been at previous times some of the best in their positions in the world, and you have 2 seasons and you can't make it work, I think you may need to change some of the infrastructure and management. That's what I think about this issue.
Kind of seeming that way. One wonders. And one wonders if Coco's going to be able to get out of this as the gank comes in from Wraith. Flash pulverize onto Coco. Coco gets knocked back with a headbutt. In a lot of trouble. He's going to flash over the wall. Still dies to that ignite. Wraith picking up a kill, so that's 1 for each side now.
Yep. Cheeky gank coming down into the mid lane. Don't expect that in the lane swap scenario. But the reason why they were able to do that was because the delay on the lane swap in the bottom side. So by making that gank, we didn't see the kind of fast pressure. So that opened up a moment for Wraith to actually roam and not fall behind in the lane swap tempo, particularly because there's a Jhin, so you're going to feel confident that you're going to be able to have a tempo advantage with that lane swap anyway as an Ashe.
Yeah.
It's like they are still going to be a little bit behind. Nope, they're not. It's going to be perfectly fine by the time these turrets actually die. So a little bit of a roam right there. Actually, this wave is melting away.
Yeah, and that's going to delay Samsung taking that first turret.
Yeah, gotta wait for the next minion wave to come through, but it will be approximately even. But that's why you can make that play if you're Wraith and not be worried about falling super far behind in the lane swap. But it is going to open up a chance to do this Drake because they haven't taken the turret.
Well, last game Longzhu got a couple Drakes, but not as many as Samsung did, so they will start things off a bit early here. And getting that Mountain Drake is pretty nice, obviously. Helps with the objectives. They'll kill it eventually. There we go.
Now the question is, where is Samsung going to go right now? Because if they go into the bottom lane with their duo, they risk giving up both the Drake and the Rift Herald, but They may not care so much about that because they at least got themselves somewhat of an advantage in the mid lane. Although it looks like Coco has bounced back when it comes to CS.
Crown on his most played champion this season on that Victor.
Yeah, he's been great on the Victor. He's been great on everything, really.
He has.
Except for the Anivia. That one was a little rocky.
We'll forget about that one. But the Victors look good. So see what he can do with it here today.
All right, so Longzhu actually chooses to go into the 1v1 instead of trying to secure the Rift Herald buff by swapping up. They really want Expression to be in the lane against the Gnar. Again, classically, this has been a Gnar counter pick, but we haven't seen too much of it, which is why it was a little confusing that QV would take the Gnar when so many teams have banned out the Aurelia against Longzhu.
Yeah.
Try to keep it away from Expression, instead giving the Expression the Aurelia and a matchup that he will be quite happy in.
Well, so far, though, QV having that big lead, just getting some CS a little bit earlier before really going into this 1v1. That level advantage might help them stay pretty even. We'll see. Already putting a little bit of pressure onto that tier 2.
QV not too worried because he has a pink ward even really deep by the red buff right there, so he feels confident and just pushing up and not allowing Aurelia to freeze in this lane while delivering some harassment underneath the turret.
And now Crown actually dropped the Chaos Storm just to push that lane up a little bit farther so he can go back and buy.
Pretty common Victor tactic in any matchup is to drop the Chaos Storm early and often. Oh, Chaser took that buff.
Oh, Chaser. You're fired.
Wow, he auto-attacked. I mean, that's just sloppy by Chaser.
Yeah.
Chaser has been a bit sloppy this series, though, on the whole. The way he was playing around that vision was pretty poor in the first game. And that one that's kind of inexcusable.
Yeah, and it's going to hurt Coco, too. I mean, you really need that blue buff if you're the Azir. You don't want to run out of mana. Meanwhile, you're understandably pushing up this lane a bit.
They'll fall back right now, trying to even up the CS total as Fury will be denied. And Samsung doing pretty well with the farm on the map at the moment. Should be pulling further ahead in the top lane and balancing it out on the bottom side as we see these waves reverse. Chaser going back and picking up his red buff. No real aggressive plays on the top of the map yet by Ambition. No, he did have a little bit of an opportunity to do some invading.
Gnar really enjoys throwing that boomerang, doesn't he? Just loves it. He's like, wah!
If I could throw a boomerang well enough to have it come back to me, I think I'd be pretty happy with that too, Doa.
It's kind of like those annoying people in tennis that grunt really loud whenever they hit the ball. I mean, come on. When you're playing tennis, you really need to go, whoa! Every time. That's where League got the idea for their champions, I guess.
Yeah, I noticed that Talia also says a bunch of garbage during the game.
Maybe they're just big tennis fans. They're like, well, whenever you do anything, you just have to make a huge grunting, like, wah sound, you know?
Also, like karate, they do that. It's weird.
Well, I mean, maybe you're trying to scare your opponent a little bit with like martial arts, right? I can see a reason for it, a valid reason there, but tennis, come on. Nobody's going to be scared of you in tennis if you make that kind of sound.
Oh,
whoa, we got
stole
it. Yeah, nice cosmic binding over the wall.
That's just irritating.
Yeah. That artifact belongs to Bard.
Bard Jerk coming in and taking all your stuff.
Bard Jerk.
And then just magical journeying away.
Yep.
Back to wherever he stores all his junk. I don't know why he needs all that stuff.
On this episode of Hoarders, we visit Bard's secret dimension where he stores all of his junk.
That must be disgusting.
He's like, what's this? What's this, Bard? What's this orb sitting here? And he's like, well, this orb sat in this village for generations, protecting them magically from the high waters of the nearby lake. And when I took it, the entire village flooded and everyone died. And they're like, why'd you take it? He's like, well, because people shouldn't have that kind of power. Thanks, Bard. The gank comes in. Oh, nice snare onto Ambition, but no follow-up. Here we'll flash out. Couldn't take the magical journey backwards. That journey goes one way.
It is
one-way journey.
It is weird that it only goes one way.
I don't know. It's a very specific kind of magic, I guess.
He's not an Amba magical journeyer.
I guess it's not. Coco tries, or Kron rather, tries to all-in Coco, but Coco just casually chicken walks out of that. Ambi journeyer.
Ambi journeyer. Zoolander and Bard have a lot in common.
Yep. Well, not everyone can be really, really, really ridiculously good looking.
Or good at stealing stuff, I guess.
Ridiculously good at stealing stuff. I don't remember that as being one of Zoolander's qualities.
Not a kleptomaniac.
No, not really. Oh, Coco forced out of lane pretty severely by Samsung here.
It's going well. Crown just ever so slowly chipping down that turret. Here comes the gang.
That's right. The hopping bard has come for your life. Uwe takes damage. That hopping Gnar, man. Scary stuff.
Expression here now really suffering in this lane matchup despite having an advantage. The CS going in favor of Cuvée. He's backing off, and that's the kind of pressure they need to make.
Well, speaking of pressure, Chaser coming in. Magical Journey brings Pure to what could be his doom. Yep, it is. It was doom. Cuvée picks up the kill there. Meanwhile, Emperor's Divide puts Ambition off of the Lamb's Spite. Thanks for the heal, bro. And Cuvée in big trouble now. Longzhu responding pretty strongly to that.
Wow, Ambition tried to hop over the Azir wall and just bounced right off of it. You can't do that. Started out looking a little bit iffy, but with everybody committing to this gank, they stick around to kill Pure. And then Cuvée tries to escape from this. Now watch Ambition's like, no, let me back on. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't hop over the Azir wall. That's what happens, but really good ultimate.
Do you see, meanwhile, the Ashe arrow hit Fury for all the way from bot lane?
Oh, wow.
Well, didn't matter, but nice shot from Ruler. He's got there late.
Did what he could, but they did overstay after the kill because the bottom wave was pushed up to the tier 2, and Ruler really wanted to farm that. They didn't have enough people to commit to that aggression. But at the end of the day, it was a 2-for-2 trade if we factor in the kill onto Expression, so still getting Gnar some nice advantages. Now the Frozen Mallet, the first item for Cuvée.
Longzhu going for their second dragon of the game. It's an Infernal Drake, too. It's a pretty big one. Ambition walking in. Takes a lot of damage, though, from the Azir. He can't steal it. Trying to dodge the shots with the curtain call. Cuvée and Crown are there. A lot of damage onto Longzhu. Maybe, just maybe, Samsung can take this Drake.
Ambition really doesn't want to tank this. He doesn't have Lamb's Respite.
Don't think so, yeah. Longzhu backing away. The Drake just looking confused. Now regenning health. Samsung has done their job. Arrow comes through. Right onto nobody. They split just in time. Whoa. Thought for sure that was going to hit somebody.
Yeah, Samsung too low to contest this, so they're going to go after the mid lane since they have the inside track on the river, get some damage down. Bard ult going to miss.
Yeah, Tempered Fate doesn't really hit anybody. Cuvée, though, is Mega Gnar for the moment, so if Samsung's going to make a run at this Drake, now may be the time, because once Mega Gnar goes down, it's going to be hard to stop Longzhu from taking it.
I don't know. I think Samsung should wait right now. They don't have level 6 on the Alistar yet. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow, all their ults are pretty much down. Ambition's Lamb's Respite looks like it's about to come up in about 10-15 seconds, but that's the only tool they have available to them.
Yep, Chaser coming back in.
So I think you wait for the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and then you try and make Longzhu fight when they don't have the Tempered Fate.
Samsung biding their time for the moment. All right, Longzhu starts the Infernal Drake again, but backs away.
Kindred ult back up. Gonna see Ruler in the bottom side. This may convince them to go after this Drake, and yes, it will.
Yeah, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is not back off cooldown yet. Walking up. Not sure how much he can really participate. The arrow's almost up. They can delay it. They can get that Ashe arrow back. Curtain call pop. No hits yet for Fury. Misses the first two. Drake gets taken, though, by Longzhu. That is pretty big that they were able to get that.
Yeah, really well played, I think, by Longzhu. Not waiting until those crucial ultimates from Samsung came back online. And most importantly, Wraith still wasn't 6, so he couldn't engage.
Yeah.
They needed him to be the engager since the Enchanted Crystal Arrow was down, but Bard already level 6, and that made a huge, huge difference in that Dragon Dance. Wraith not able to contribute, and they made sure that they got the Drake before he hit 6 and before their actual engage came back up. Remember, the two forms of engage for Samsung in this game are Ash Arrow and Wraith using a headbutt pulve combo with his ultimate.
Yeah.
And neither of those was there, so Longzhu just bides their time, and they do take a very valuable Drake. Now they've got Mountain and Infernal, looking good for them.
It's strange to see Wraith taking so long to hit 6. He's way behind here.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been able to really get much time with the minion waves during that extended dance around the dragons. Does have those mobility boots, though. He should be able to get back in the lane and actually hit level 6 pretty quickly, but that was a huge part of that last Drake for Samsung, and I do think they were smart not to commit to it.
Well, it hurts to lose that Infernal Drake, but they are still slightly ahead on gold right now. I mean, they're even on turrets, so it's not the end of the world yet.
No, but those Drakes, pretty important. Still, as you say, Samsung's scaling is good. A lot of CC for team fights late in the game.
Arrow comes through. It's Fury. Is there any follow-up? Wraith coming from the side. Tempered Fate does not really connect with anybody important. They're going to get the pick onto Fury. Now the Pulverize comes in from Wraith, looking for that headbutt. Doesn't get it, though.
Zipping in with the Ghost, but immediately bound up cosmically.
That was a good pick, though, from Samsung.
Yep, was a good
Really
pick. Arrow
that.
comes through, and they had the flank from Wraith. Wraith, unfortunately, he did get the flash out of Pure, but because that flash was used to go onto the other side of him, the Pulverize not enough.
Yeah.
Just take him out. Rift Herald being considered, but I don't know. Not really worth it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Rift Herald doesn't want to hear that, but sometimes you need to face some hard truths, you know?
Well, they also, who would you put it on? Because they have to respond in the bottom side to pick up this minion wave, so that means Cube is not going to be there.
Yeah, it's true.
I think you just don't even try and fight that objective. It's 12,000 HP right now. It's going to take you a long time, and trading it for a tier 2 turret is not worth it.
Fury getting some farm up in that top lane in the meantime. It's kind of dangerous to leave cups of hot cocoa randomly lying around, you know?
I don't think it's that dangerous.
I mean, it's pretty hot when you step in and burn your
How do you know it's hot? It's just in a glass.
You think he's serving cold cocoa?
I think that's something Bard would do.
Yeah.
He is a jerk.
He is a jerk like that, it's true. But still, I still wouldn't want to step in that.
You have no evidence that that cocoa is hot, though.
I don't need it. Not what it's about.
You don't even have evidence it's cocoa. Could be a coffee. It could be coffee with a marshmallow in it.
It's true. It could be one of those coffee brewer drinks or whatever with peppermint schnapps. You know what I'm talking about?
It sounds good.
I forget what it's called exactly. Peppermint patty. It's like hot cocoa with peppermint schnapps.
Nice. Could also be something disgusting that Bard is trying to convince people to drink because he's a jerk.
That's true. It could be this awful, vile alien substance from another dimension that he just puts in cups and force feeds people for his own sadistic pleasure.
Might be raw sewage. I don't know.
It could be. Could be that too. Yep. It wouldn't maybe go with the Santa theme as much. Wow, right on the edge of that Tempered Fate. They catch Ruler, and I think Ruler's in quite a bit of trouble. Yep, kill for Fury. Single Ambition going on to Expression down in bot lane, but Expression flashing away. Cube trying to chase, they're going to flash for it, so they will go kill for kill on each side of the map.
Yeah, really not using any of his summoners to try and escape that. Accepting his fate, I suppose, but Expression does draw 2 flashes out.
Well, yeah, I think Ruler knew he was dead as soon as that Tempered Fate hit him. There was just no getting out of that, so better to save your summoner in that case.
In the end, though, Samsung is the one who actually has the minion wave up near the turret and can take out an objective. They are pinging down onto the topside turret right now, so maybe Jin can grab this one.
Yep. Oh, Chaos Storm doing a lot of damage to Pure. He has to take a magical journey out, and already Crown really kind of starting to put the fear of Victor into Longzhu.
Yeah, Just a net win there for Samsung. They increase their gold lead, their map pressure.
Yep.
The second turret of the game for them.
Yeah, and Ruler dying doesn't really make a whole lot of difference in the grand scheme of things.
Interestingly, he's going for the Infinity Edge here. We have seen some Ashes prefer that for some more late game consistent damage. And he's going to grab that before he even picks up his Ruin's Hurricane.
Yep, Wraith finds Pink Ward. So Ruler should be catching up in CS pretty soon here. Getting closer anyway.
I think the most disturbing aspect of this game, Doa, is that Coco really hasn't recovered from that gank yet. That happened in the early game.
That's a good point.
He's
way
hugely behind.
Wow. And meanwhile, Ambition gets a free Mountain Drake. So, Mountain Drake going over to Samsung.
Will be the Ocean Drake next.
Yep.
Juve getting progressively more tanky, and the amount of effect he is going to have in the late game team fighting is huge. But Expression, he's got a good game to be playing this Aurelia. Going against the Ashe, will be able to punish her if he gets some good team fight positioning down.
Yeah, I mean, the ability for the top laners to get onto the AD carry of the other team is going to be pretty defining when it comes down to these team fights. You know, if Cuvée can get onto Fury's Jhin, knock him into a wall or something like that, and if Expression can get back on the Ruler.
Wraith is there to help set that up. Also, the teleport flank from Gnar, never something to be underestimated.
Yep.
So, Samsung definitely has a few more tools to do it. Temper Fade not going to do anything.
Not a whole lot.
And this is a Baron attempt. They see everybody on the bottom side of the map. This is a risk that Longzhu has decided to take.
Yep.
Ghostblade popped immediately by Jhin to make sure that Fury can get there in time, but it's going to be too late.
Only Coco there to stop this, and yeah, that Baron will go over to Longzhu. Expression tried for it.
Oh boy, man, they committed Chaser to the bottom side. Chaser looks like he didn't have the Void Rush available to him. Still on cooldown, and it's going to come up right now, so that's why you don't make three-man plays after 20 minutes into the bottom side of the map, especially Samsung had just picked up the Mountain Drake to make that Baron just a little bit faster. Now, if Chaser had had his ultimate, I think you can go ahead and do that, but it wasn't there.
So, now the question is, what can Samsung do at this Baron? How hard can they push?
Yeah, pretty hard with a Victor. A lot of poke with the Ashe combination. And they were already winning that split push matchup with the Gnar. So, tough times incoming for Longzhu Gaming.
Getting that mid lane turret would be pretty big for Samsung.
Just so much gold you can just snowball with at this point of the game. An early Baron, when still a lot of turrets available, really helps out. He's got one outer turret still in the mid lane.
Yeah. You know, part of me kind of feels like we're back to seeing Longzhu just play rather lackluster again. You know, they just, all right, well, flash from Cuvée, flash from Chaser.
Actually, he probably didn't have to flash right there. Maybe that Rek'Sai would have caught up to him, but he wasn't going to get hit by the Jhin root.
But when you watch Longzhu, you know, they just don't look crisp. Everything looks a little bit lazy from their side, you know?
Well, they have not been a good late game team all season, though. That's been the truth. Their shot calling has been pretty absent.
Yeah, decision making just clearly isn't there.
Now they're 5,000 gold down in 23 minutes. And it's all coming off objectives. Kills are even, but those turrets and the farm, particularly in that mid lane, is just incredibly one-sided.
Oh yeah. There goes the mid lane turret. Samsung continuing to push ahead with this Baron buff. And Longzhu may not survive too long in this game, honestly. Curtain call used. And how far can Fury push them back? Ambition taking a bit of damage. But only a bit.
I mean, this would be just devastating for Longzhu, too, losing 10 consecutive games. That is...
Oh, trying to make a play on the Wraith here. Wraith, though, pops that L-Star Twisted Fate, or not Twisted Fate, Tempered Fate on the Ruler Mesh. Wow, that Cosmic Binding from Fury was so close. And if he would have been able to wrap up Ruler and Wraith with that, maybe allowed Longzhu to take a team fight, but instead they're just going to lose that bottom tier 2 turret.
Oh, God. I mean, the snowball's just getting out of control right now. Samsung
Really
getting more and more and more of a gold lead. They take 3 towers in addition to that Baron. I mean, I guess the only explanation is Longzhu thought that maybe Samsung wouldn't actually go for a Baron at 22 minutes, but that's a big risk to take when you don't have the Void Rush available, and they were just super punished for it. Samsung, especially, as I said, getting that Mountain Drake was clutch.
Yeah, okay, teleport bringing Kuve in behind the team. They're going to spot him.
He has no Narbar.
Magical Journey taking people away. Expression teleports in just to support his team. Kuve trying to build up that Narbar, but it is still only about at 50%. All right, Wraith slowed down, goes in, tries for the headbutt pulverize. Fury, though, just getting headbutted. Flashes now. Crown comes in for a bit of damage, but can't do it. He doesn't have his Chaos Storm, so he couldn't try blowing up Fury there, but that is a lot of summoners used on the Longzhu side.
That was actually a pretty sad attempt at an engage from Samsung, trying to TP in with a Gnar with absolutely 0 Narbar, but it doesn't matter. They're so far ahead, Doa.
Well, that's the thing, is like, do they really even care about not getting that fight? I think they just kind of wanted to push Longzhu back, and they're like, whatever, we got summoners, we don't need to fight him. We can just change this into objectives, right? All right, there's a big engage, though. Big knockup from Chaser after the Curtain's Call comes through. Ruler threw the Ash Arrow into Fury to cancel that, but Longzhu still looking pretty good in this fight. Losing one now. Samsung trying to turn it around, and Ruler doing some damage before he finally gets taken out. Gets the double kill in the end, though, and Ambition just not even part of that fight.
Well, he was off split pushing, and Longzhu finds the fight they were looking for. They actually take favorable kills. Baron buff was pretty much done already. But yeah, good setup. And you said, well, Samsung also used a bunch of summoners to even try that engage in the first place. So they do get up punished by it. Ruler actually goes down to the Duskblade at the end of it. Let's take a look at that. I mean, Crown just caught out right there. That's just a great engage from Longzhu. They see their opportunity with only 3 members on that side. Arrow does hit Jin during the curtain call, which actually maybe allows Samsung to pick up a few kills here, which could have been a total disaster for them. You see with the Hurricane in that choke point, Ruler doing work. However, the Jin does get the auto attack, and goodbye, says Duskblade. On to Ruler. Expression pops over the wall with a flash and a Blade Surge to finish off one more kill, but doesn't really move the needle that much on the gold count because it was a 3-for-4 trade, and it didn't really buy them any time because the Baron was basically done.
Yeah. And now Samsung just transitioning right to that Ocean Drake, which they will take easily. Mountain Drake next. Be nice for Samsung to pick up, of course.
If we even get to that point in this game, Doa, a minute
until
the Baron, and Samsung will definitely be ready for that one, and with a 8,000 or 7,000 gold lead rather once this turret goes down, they will be in prime position. Yeah. Take that.
Special there to protect Coco. Kuve's just going to sit and get a bunch of farm on that Gnar. But I mean, even though Longzhu might hold off Samsung again a bit, it's just really hard to imagine Samsung not being able to win a team fight at this point.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's too much. Oh, Pure with a little bit of fancy footwork. Not too much required, though. He does have boots of mobility. So we're going to just fire off that arrow. Should be back in time for shortly after the Baron spawn.
Catching up in farm on that Gnar. Not that it matters a whole lot, but it feels good. Here comes Baron. And Samsung not ready to start that right away. Can't really do it 5v5 anyway.
Well, I mean, Longzhu didn't actually lose an inhibitor. They are going to be able to defend this pressure against the Gnar, at least for the moment, but there's a big minion wave. Kuve is actually doing the Krugs right now, doesn't want to push. They don't have vision in that bottom jungle, and that's really what they need to do right now. Samsung needs to focus on getting the wards down so that their split push actually has meaning. They can threaten this inhibitor, and then they can dance around the Baron. And that's what they're going to do. So go in. It's like Spite. Ambition actually going to take that one. Brought low by Crown, but he will not grab it.
Doesn't deserve it. That 2-2-3 is here. Oh, well.
Okay, so heading back up towards the Baron. Now they have the split push they want. Much better deep vision. Samsung playing this one out by the book.
Yeah, just playing it methodically.
Yeah, I do like the setup, though. Patience from Cube, while his team actually moved into the bottom jungle. Then you get the wards down. Now you start messing with this Aurelia, and with Frozen Mallet and Black Cleaver, he's basically a full item up. This Gnar is going to be having a very good time.
All right, Longzhu knows that this Baron is kind of the end of the game for him if Samsung can take it.
Vision doing a lot of damage.
Yes, yes he is. Oop. Samsung just keeping the lanes pushed. Top will need some help, maybe in a bit. Oh, Ash Arrow goes through. They hit Chaser. Great, though.
Wow, Jin Trap preventing the collapse.
Yeah.
Expression, though, gets bullied out. Has to go back to the fountain, and that means Cube gets some quality Mega Gnar time with the inhibitor.
Well, that'd be huge if Cube could just take that inhibitor, uses the ult on Ambition to throw him against the wall. He's going in on this one.
This is a big commitment. They use Gnar ult. Oh, Samsung, I don't know if they can go for both of these things at the same time.
It is pretty bold. Curtain Call comes in. Samsung going to abandon it. Tempered Fate slows down that Baron take for the moment anyway. Wraith low in the back of the pit. Chaos Storm rotating around. They do take the Baron in the end, and they take the inhibitor. So somehow, some way, they do get both.
Okay.
Wow.
They did get away with it, though,
Yeah.
but the risk. Cube actually solo killed Expression inside the base while that was going down. But, man, I don't know if you take that risk. If basically your Gnar just committed to using the Gnar ult in the 1v1, then I think you don't actually try and go for the Baron at the same time, because if this goes wrong for whatever reason, Cube very confident, though, actually follows up on the flash with a hop onto the minion wave and get the extra distance.
Wow.
Just gets that kill. He's not able to escape, and Baron going on simultaneously. So Cube really having a great day today.
Yeah. Yeah, had a great game one on that Gangplank, got the MVP, and I mean, he might be on track for a double MVP today.
He may very well be. Been doing a lot of work here.
All right, Samsung, time to try to end it, but it's probably going to take a little while. And again, there's no need to rush. Just keep pushing with that Baron, I suppose.
Samsung showing the patience in this game. At the very least, setting up that split push properly so they could go for the Baron and the inhibitor.
So in game one, Longzhu did a good job of holding on, but they just, in the end, you know, couldn't turn things around.
Well, they're going to have...
It kind of feels the same this game, doesn't it?
They're not going to have such an easy time of holding on in this one, though, just because they don't have the same ability to make picks that they had. In fact, their engage is pretty limited. Maybe they could get a Bard ultimate off and turn it into something, but the split push pressure is so huge now from Cube because of how much of an advantage he has in items.
Oh, Ambition takes a ton of damage, though. Fury able to make something work there. So that will slow things down for the moment. Trying to help Ambition get a little bit of health back from the minion waves, but look at that, already the Nexus turret's taking quite a bit of damage.
Aurelia just very under-itemized. Once those super minions start to stack up, hard to get rid of them without AoE.
There we go, Curtain Call comes in, Yum was used as well. Chaser looking for an opportunity for the knockup, but he doesn't really find it.
Doing what they can, just trying to poke them back, and Longzhu successful in that endeavor. They also don't lose another turret on at the Nexus nor in the mid lane. So Samsung struggling to crack the base with this Baron buff.
Yeah.
But they have the Ocean Drake at the very least, so at least when they back off like that, away from the poke, the sustain comes through.
All right, Tempered Fate on the Ruler and Wraith. Is Samsung going to try to capitalize on this? It doesn't look like it. Kube a bit low, but he's going Mega Gnar. Yeah, throws Expression back into the team. Lambjo Spite used immediately. Chaos Storm dropped down onto Longzhu. Wraith does get taken out by Coco in the end, but 2 responding kills from Samsung. It ends up being 2 for 2, but they get the inhibitor, and that's going to be the end of game number 2. Ash Arrow just goes through onto Pure, and Samsung ready to end it right here, and they will take the 2-0 over Longzhu. Continue moving up. Samsung actually hopping into first place in the league for the moment anyway.
That's right, 8-3. Now they do have the advantage of having played an extra match compared to KT, the Rocks, Tigers, and SK Telecom, so they could be leapfrogged again, but that is our 4th different team in first place in this league this week, Doa.
It's great. I love it.
It's been a revolving door in the pole position here in Korea.
Yep.
And Longzhu, oh boy, 10-game losing streak, 5 consecutive 0-2 losses, and that is just brutal.
That is brutal, man. I mean, I can't imagine practicing that hard, throughout the week and then coming and just getting stomped time and time again. It's got to be tough.
Something's got to change. I mean, Longzhu is a team right now that looks like they have effectively 0 shot calling.
Yeah.
The Baron that they gave Samsung in 22 minutes was embarrassing.
I mean, clearly Longzhu is just simply a broken team at this point. Something has gone seriously wrong, and unless it seriously changes, this is just going to be the future of this organization for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is with this team, but this particular group of players and coaches is, at this point, I think, never going to work.
Yeah.
If it hasn't worked already,